friends, it's Lisa and welcome to a new reading vlog. I'm so excited because this is going to be the first of a few different reading vlogs throughout the month of April. I'm planning on doing weekly reading vlogs for the Magical Readathon, which is happening all month. The Magical Readathon is like one of my favorite readathons. It is probably really the only readathon I really participate in anymore. It's just so much fun, and I did post a video talking about my TBR for the month and what I'm going to read for it, so I'll have that linked below. And this readathon is also hosted by G over at the channel Book Roast, so I'll have her channel linked down below as well. But yeah, just super fun, a kind of magical academy that we all attend. We pick a career or a calling to study, and basically the classes you have to take for that calling is like based off of the prompts that you have to fulfill. And so yeah, I'm excited. I'm excited for a month of reading, and I'm very excited about my TBR, and I'm excited to do some weekly vlogs. I just love vlogging and I feel like I haven't done it in a while, so very excited. And also we have some like fun things happening in the month of April, some fun and exciting things that will be fun to document. So yeah, I'm really looking forward to the whole thing. It's gonna be a lot of fun. But even though it is April 1st, the official first day of the readathon, I'm not gonna be doing much reading this evening because one of the fun and exciting things happening this month is happening tonight. And that's that I'm seeing Miss Olivia Rodrigo in concert, and I'm so excited. I'm ready to lose my mind. It's gonna be such a fun time. So I'm actually gonna be leaving kind of soon, like in an hour or so. So I'm actually gonna make this quick so I can go, get myself ready. I need to do my hair, redo my makeup, get changed. I just got home from work like not even 5 minutes ago, so we gotta speed run this getting ready process. But yeah, me and a couple of my friends and my sister are going tonight, so it's gonna be good vibes and just so much fun. I'm so excited to see Olivia. This is gonna be the first time I ever see her, so it's gonna be really fun. And of course I will take you along and document some of the concert, and of course if you don't care about that or you don't want to see like flashing lights, I'll have a timestamp of when you can skip to so you don't have to see that. But yeah, I'm very excited, and that's what's gonna be happening. I'm celebrating the start of the Magical Readathon by seeing Olivia and not reading. I feel like that is classic me behavior. Does a readathon, doesn't actually read. It's fine. But yeah, I just wanted to say hello, intro this vlog. Obviously, the next time we chat, I will talk about what I'm going to be reading first for the readathon. We can make that decision. I also have some book mail, so some unboxings to do, but I really just wanted to say hello, welcome to the vlog, and welcome to me losing my mind over Olivia Rodrigo. All good vibes here. Well, you can tell it's definitely me post-concert. I feel like I always look, sound, and feel so rough the day after a concert, so this is just what we're going to be working with. Sorry for my general appearance, but I'm also struggling to speak. I don't know why that's happening. I've had to start this clip over a few times, so this should be interesting, but hello. Yes. The concert last night, so much fun. Such a fun set list. Like Olivia Rodrigo, she just pulls out so many emotions. Me and my friends just kept saying it was so like cathartic and like therapeutic to scream the words to her songs. It was just so much fun. I feel like I didn't really look at a ton of like videos or pictures of the concert before going, so a lot of like the sets and the choreography and the visuals and things like that, like I didn't really know what to expect. So that was really fun. I did kind of know the set list, but yeah, it was just a really fun night. It was so fun to scream the words to those songs and to hear Love is Embarrassing and Deja Vu live. Incredible. Show-stopping. Thank you so much. I had such a good time. It was so nice to finally see her too. I, like, you know, everybody else wanted to see her on the Sour tour, but she played venues that held like maybe like 5 people. So like no one got tickets, I feel like, to that tour. I mean, people did, obviously, but I was not one of the lucky people that got tickets. So it was really exciting to finally see her. And yeah, it was just a really fun night. But now we are officially going to be focusing on the magical readathon. I'm actually going to do some reading today. The only problem is that I don't know what I want to read first from my TBR because I kind of have a variety of things. I have 4 books that I have to read. Technically, 5 prompts that I have to complete, but one of them is having to read The Legend of Dia, which is a part of the lore from the Magical Readathon. That's going to take me like 2 seconds to read that and then consider that class done. So I'm not really counting that really as something that I have to do. I mean, I will do it, but it's obviously going to take me like a minute to read that and then that prompt will be done. But of the other 4 prompts, I have 4 books to read and I have kind of a variety and I just don't know what I'm in the mood for. I have a historical romance, a fantasy romance, a cozy fantasy, and like a mystery book. So kind of a bit of variety, all things that I enjoy for the most part. So I'm excited to read all of them. And I think that's my problem. I'm excited to read all of the things on my TBR. So I'm like, what do I start with? I don't know. So I'm gonna give myself some time to think about it. And while I figure it out, I do have some unboxings, as you can hear. I have some Amazon packages, so I thought we would open these together on camera. I can show you what I panic purchased. So let me open the bigger package because I think there's only 1 book in the other package. I think there was only 1 that shipped separately. Okay, so let me pull out the 2 things that started this whole panic Amazon purchase. Yeah, okay, listen, I know what you're thinking. Lisa, you don't need these. I know. So I have Fairest and Stars Above by Marissa Meyer. So this is the little novella that is recommended when you read the Lunar Chronicles to read in between the 3rd and 4th books. And Stars Above is a bunch of like short stories set in the world of the Lunar Chronicles. And yes, I already have other copies of these books. Do I need second copies? No. However, basically what happened is Marissa Meyer made me panic and she made a post on Instagram saying that in these new paperback editions and due to printing costs, they were going to be taking out the like step back art in these paperbacks. So once these are gone, they're gone and they're not going to have the art on the like inside covers anymore, which is totally understandable. But I panicked because I don't have the Stars Above, obviously, and Fairest editions with these new covers. So I bought them. I immediately saw that post and went to Amazon.com, added these to my cart and checked out because I needed them. I don't know. I really don't need them, but I bought them. I always planned to buy these eventually. I have the main 4 books in the series with these covers, and I knew eventually I wanted to get Fairest and Stars Above with them as well, but it was just like not that pressing, so I just never really prioritized that. But knowing that the art on the inside was going to be gone, that made me buy them. That made me like initiate that process. So I'm happy to have them. Plus, I think these are the like editions of Lunar Chronicles I might annotate eventually. One of my 50 copies, this will be, I think, the ones that I annotate. So I'm like, if I want to reread these and annotate them, it makes sense to have the matching covers. And it's not that these covers are going out of print. It's just that the ones with the step back art is like the art is being taken out. So it really isn't that serious, but it is to me. So I panic bought them and I'm happy about this decision. Where I'm going to put them on the Marissa Meyer shelf, that's a whole other question. I think at this point I just need to have like a Lunar Chronicle shelf and then Marissa Meyer books somewhere else on my bookshelf, but like I don't have the space for that. So yes, these were my panic buys. I don't know what it is about Marissa Meyer and Taylor Swift. The both of them are like, here's this thing that's on sale or this thing that's happening. And I just, okay, swipe my card, doesn't matter. I don't even think about it. I don't know. But while I was making a purchase on Amazon, I was like, why don't I just buy more books? Why not? Do I need to buy more books right now? No. Should I be buying books? Probably not, but I did. So I have 2 more books in this package, and then I have the other package with 1 more book, and they're all in the same series. And it does actually kind of connect to the Magical Readathon. So I bought myself, oh my god, they're so cute. I bought myself The Duchess Steele and The Governess Game by Tessa Dare. And then I wonder if you can guess what's gonna be in here. The third one, the Wallflower Wager. So I have the whole series. Technically there is going to be a 4th book, but when we're going to get that 4th book is really, it's questionable. It's been pushed back so many times, so we'll see. But yeah, I bought these, and I don't know, something about mass market paperbacks are so precious, and I know some people really don't like them, and that's fair, but for some reason they just bring me a lot of joy. I don't know if it's just because, like, growing up, my mom read, like, mass market paperbacks, whether they were, like, romance books or mysteries or just, like, general fiction. Like, she kind of always was reading mass market paperbacks, and so for me, it's just very nostalgic to see, like, this type of book. I don't know, but I read The Duchess Steele a few years ago now and loved it, so I've been wanting to continue on with the series, and The Governess Game is actually on my TBR for the readathon. So it just seemed like a good time to buy them. I think they were like $7 each or something on Amazon. So I was like, that's kind of a bargain. Add to cart. Okay, this third one did come a little bent, which is a little upsetting, but it's not that bad. So yeah, I'm very excited to add these to my collection. I feel like these are the first mass market paperbacks that I have, that I own, that I have purchased. Oh, that's not true. I do have the Assassin's Apprentice, is that what it's called? By Robin Hobb, the first one. I do have that in the mass market paperback form, but I haven't read that yet. So anyway, I'm very excited to have these. I think they're so cute. I think it would be so cute to have a little like mass market paperback moment on my bookshelf, or like get a certain bookshelf for these. I've seen people who have like certain storage for their mass market paperbacks. Anyway, that's getting way ahead of myself. I have 3, I need to relax. But yeah, now that I have these and I'm holding them, I'm like, is this what I start the readathon with? I kind of wanted to do a reread of The Duchess Steele, and now that I'm like staring at it, I'm like, that seems right. And then read The Governess Game, which is actually on my TBR for the Magical Readathon. Is that what I want to do? Is that what I want to start the readathon with? I don't know. I genuinely do not know what I want to pick up first. Are you what I want to read? Tell me. I don't know. The more I'm staring at these, the more I feel like this is what I want to do, even though this is not for the Magical Readathon at all. Doing a reread of this, but this is on my TBR, so I feel like that could be fun. That could be a fun little moment. I feel like I'm talking myself into doing this first. I feel like I'm talking myself into doing the reread and then reading The Governess Game, which is the actual thing on my TBR for the readathon. And I feel like these are going to be quick reads. I think I read this first one in the span of like a few days when I first read it a few years ago, so I don't think it's going to take me that long to get through these. Okay, I actually think that's what I'm going to do. I think I'm going to reread this. We'll start the vlog with the reread, and then we'll read this. That feels right. That feels like what I'm in the mood to do. So that's the plan. And then will I read this also? I don't know. Okay, glad we talked that through. Honestly, would kind of laugh if the next time I chatted with you all, I ended up not reading these and picking up something else on my TBR for the month, but we'll see. I think this is what I'm actually in the mood for. So I think I'm going to start with a reread of The Duchess Steele and then read The Governess Game, which I am reading for the Magical Readathon, and that will be the start of the reads for the month. I'm very excited. And I also just feel like I'm kind of in a historical romance mood because I started a rewatch of Bridgerton the other day, so I feel like I'm also going to be watching that a little bit this week and just throughout the month in general. And I do need to set up my reading journal, not only for April, but also like for the Magical Readathon, and do those spreads. So perhaps I'll watch a bit of Bridgerton, set up my reading journal for the month, and then start reading some historical romances. What a vibe. I love that for me. I love this plan. It feels weird to talk because it's so quiet in my house right now. We have no power. Surprise, surprise. We're getting, you know, the classic snowstorm in April. You know how it be. So yeah, we have no power, which means that today is gonna be spent doing a lot of reading. I finished my reread of The Duchess Steele last night and I still gave it 5 stars. I had such a good time. So I'm jumping into The Governess Game this morning. I'm 40 pages in. This is on my TBR for the magical readathon. So we're finally gonna be starting something for the readathon, and I have a feeling this is what I'm gonna be doing all day today, is reading, because I don't wanna be on my phone and I can't really do anything else. So this is it. This is the plan. Good news, everybody. We have power. I'm so excited. It was only like a little over a day that the power was out, but we were like, we're not doing another night of this because it got really cold in here overnight last night. It's just not fun when you can't, you know, when you have no water and we don't have a generator. So we're just like in the dark, in the cold, and we can't really do anything. So we were like, we're gonna probably get a hotel or something until we get power back, but luckily it came back today. So I'm very excited about that. Luckily, I also was at work today, so I was able to go to a place that had power and I was able to charge my phone and warm up a little bit. And honestly, like for someone who got ready this morning in the dark, my makeup kind of came out okay. For someone who was doing it by like with the flashlight and was like, this is probably not coming out very well. Honestly, it's not bad. But yeah, I'm just excited we have power, excited I can shower and wash my hair, and it's so good to have electricity, you know? You don't realize how much you use it and rely on it until you don't have it. But the good thing about the fact that I didn't have power all day yesterday was I did do some reading for the magical readathon. And I also like briefly chatted to you yesterday when we didn't have power. I obviously didn't want to be filming too much because I wanted to save my phone battery, but I did finish my reread of The Duchess Steele the other day, and still a 5 out of 5. I absolutely loved this. Something about the fact that this is almost like a historical rom-com more so than like a historical romance. Like I can so vividly see so many of these scenes like playing out like in a romantic comedy movie or something. I just think that the humor is really funny. It's a little cheesy, like both of these books, which we'll talk about, and this is upside down. Both of them are a bit cheesy, but like I kind of love cheesy things. So to me, it was a lot of fun, and so fun to revisit and fun to get refamiliar with all of the side characters because it made their personalities a little bit more distinct. I remembered who was who. So then going into the Governess Game for the first time, I actually remembered who Alexandra was. And because we had no power, I did in fact read this entire thing yesterday because what else was I going to do with my time? Literally nothing. So read this whole thing yesterday, and it was such a fun thing to have to keep me company with no power. I had such a good time with it. In the Governess Game, we have Alexandra and Chase, and Alexandra, through some sort of miscommunication, ends up becoming the like accidental governess for Chase's 2 wards, these 2 young girls that he has kind of been forced to take in. And you can clearly see that Chase does care about these young girls, but he's really trying to keep them at arm's length. He clearly has some trauma that he's working through, and that is why he is like not allowing himself to get too attached. And Alexandra kind of recognizes that, but she also notices that these 2 young girls, these 2 young orphans that have been taken in by Chase, like they also have trauma and things that they need. And so she's kind of trying to help both Chase and these young girls find comfort and love in this situation. So yeah, you're just kind of seeing them get to know one another as Alexandra becomes this governess for these 2 young kids. And I really enjoyed a lot of the scenes with the young girls. They were really fun, and I think that was probably like my favorite aspect of this book, was seeing Chase and Alexandra and these 2 young girls like become kind of this family. And we also have a fun little friends with benefits, I guess, more so like employer and employee with benefits because he's technically her employer, but you know, details, because Chase and Alexandra end up having, like, he agrees to like give her an education and teach her about pleasure, but she's like the governess, so then it causes like this whole thing, and I don't know, I just had a good time with it. I definitely don't think I liked it as much as the Duchess deal. I just feel like the setup of like the marriage of convenience in this one was just like right up my alley, so I kind of liked the setup for the romance a little bit more than this one, but I did like this one as well. I liked the characters a lot. Like I said, I liked the kind of whole plot points and dynamic with the two young girls in this book because they were just so funny and precious, and a lot of the scenes with them were really funny, but then also brought out a lot of the softer sides of both Alexandra and Chase. And like the Duchess deal, again, had some very funny moments and very cheesy moments as well, but honestly, that's why I'm reading these. They're just cheesy, silly, goofy times, and I have a good time with the series, so I'm excited to read the third one. I feel like if I have time to get to the third one this month, I want to, because I'm just really enjoying this series so far. And I know I did make like jokes about if we were ever going to get the fourth book in this series, and I did not know this prior to that, and obviously like I'm completely joking when I say that. Like obviously Tessa Dare can take as long as she needs, but it turns out that she's also been like having trouble writing it due to some health issues, so want to make that clear that I am not demanding a book from someone who's clearly dealing with some health issues and some other things. Like I was making a joke to begin with, but I just want to make that clear. So eventually we will get the fourth book, and I will be sad whenever we do, but I'm willing to wait as long as Tessa Dare needs. But yeah, obviously a fun reread and a fun new read to me as well. And this also was for the Magical Readathon. This was for, I believe, the Art of Illusion class, and the prompt was to read a book with game or play in the title. So that is one class done for the Magical Readathon, and I'm just pumped about it. And then I also started yet another book last night for the Magical Readathon because, again, we had no power. What else was I going to do? And luckily I had one of these books on my Kindle, so I was able to kind of like use the screen brightness to be able to read last night when it got dark. So I started The Serpent and the Wings of Night last night by Clarissa Broadbent, and I'm not very far at all. I think I'm like 6% of the way through, so we're not too far. I don't really have a lot of thoughts. All I know is that there's going to be like this competition and there's vampires, which is basically what I knew about it before going into it, so I haven't really learned too much more, but I'm intrigued. I am very interested to see where it's going to go, and I like the writing so far. The characters seem intriguing, so I'm excited to keep going with that. I have no idea what class that's for, but it is for the Magical Readathon, so I've started my next read for that, and I'm probably not going to finish that by the end of this vlog. I don't think so. I've been doing a lot of reading the past few days between both of these books, so I just don't know if I'm going to be in the reading mood, especially now that that's not the only thing that I can do with my time. But I've started it, so we'll just see how far I get into it. And yeah, that is the next thing I'm picking up for the Magical Readathon. I kind of want to pace myself though, because there are 4 weeks in this Magical Readathon in this month, and I have 4 things to read. So I'm kind of like trying to space everything out to like 1 book a week, and then maybe we'll just read some bonus things in between, but we'll see. I'm in a reading mood now, so like spacing things out seems like a good idea right now, but like I could get into another reading slump again. We just never know. But yeah, we've got power. We've done a lot of reading, read something for the Magical Readathon, one of my prompts, so very happy about that. And I think maybe tonight, if I'm feeling like it, I want to do some journaling because I have to set up my reading journal for April, and I want to do a spread for the Magical Readathon as well. So I think that I might try and do that tonight, but again, we will just see where the night and the weekend takes us. But yeah, I just wanted to give an update now that we have power and I can actually like film on my phone without fearing losing charge. All good things. So I just want to say hello. We've got power, so I'm a happy camper. Okay, we've officially made it to the next week, so it's time for me to wrap up this vlog so I can start next week's, but I did want to quickly go over everything I managed to read this week for the Magical Readathon and just otherwise. So I did a reread of The Duchess Deal by Tessa Dare, simply for funsies, not for the Magical Readathon, just wanted to, and gave it 5 stars still. Just had such a good time rereading this. And then after that, I read The Governess Game by Tessa Dare as well. This is the second book in the same series and had a good time with this one as well. I gave it 4 stars, and this completed, I just looked and I already forget. I think it's the Art of Illusion class, and the prompt for that is to read a book with game or play in the title. So one prompt done for the Magical Readathon this week. And then some progress on what I'm currently reading. I'm reading The Serpent and the Wings of Night by Carissa Broadbent, and I'm reading this for, again, just looked, already forget what class. Inscription? Hold on, I'm just gonna go look and confirm. It's the one thing about filming on my phone, I can't just like look at my phone. I have to go over to my laptop, but really not a big deal. It is the inscription class that I'm reading this for, and the prompt for this was to just put a bunch of book titles, I think it was 3, and randomly write them down and pick one, and then that's the book you read. So that's what I'm reading this for, and I'm 10% of the way through the book so far. I'm still not very far, and I really still don't know much more information than what I've already said. We have a main character, Aurea, who is a human that's been raised by vampires and is now entering this competition amongst the vampires to try and get herself some protection, and it's basically like a life or death competition. So I'm excited. I like a competition element in a book, and it's fantasy romance, so I'm excited about the romance aspect of it. We've like briefly seen the love interest right now, so, or like where I'm at right now, so we haven't like talked to him, but we like saw him at a distance, so I'm intrigued. Or at least I assume that it's the love interest that was described. Like, why else would we randomly just describe a man at the other side of the ballroom if he's not going to become significant, you know? But yeah, intrigued with that one, and I'm hoping that in next week's vlog I can get another prompt done. That would be ideal. I want to have one prompt done a week. I think that that would be just the best like pacing for my TBR this month. So yeah, we're making good progress. I'm really excited to continue vlogging and continue reading for the Magical Readathon this month. And we had a pretty exciting week, I guess. We had Olivia Rodrigo at the very beginning of this vlog, which honestly feels like months ago. That does not feel like it was just a week ago. Like, that seems like so long ago that that happened, but saw Olivia Rodrigo and Chaperone. I don't know if I talked about her being the opener, but iconic. Love her so much, and that was so much fun. Saw Olivia, we lost power, did a lot of reading with no power, and I think that's why I haven't made a ton of progress in The Serpent and the Wings of Night, just because when we lost power, the only thing I could do was read, so I was like, now that we have power, I want to use it, and I want to do things that aren't reading. But hopefully week 2 of the readathon and of the month, we will get some more reading done. Oh, and I also did not set up my reading journal for this month yet. That's gonna also be in next week's vlog. I don't know, wasn't in a journaling mood, I guess. But yeah, that will be happening in next week's vlog because we have to have the journal ready for me to use this month. I'm just behind, but we'll get there eventually. I'll do it next week. But yeah, if you're participating in the Magical Readathon as well, I'd love to know how you're doing, any progress you're making, what books you've read, how many prompts you've completed. Just let me know where you're at with the Magical Readathon for yourself. But I think that is going to be it for week 1 of the Magical Readathon. So thank you all so much for watching, and I will see you in my next one. Bye.